Got a couple comments asking for me to show how we separate the bud from the seeds, or the seeds from the buds. I was sitting here doing that. I thought, some of this is actually worth trimming up because I have a few people who are interested in actually trying the flower. Obviously, they'll have to pull some seeds out of it. But I figured I would sit here and trim up a little bit, and then I would also show you guys one of the stages of separating seed from the flower material. So basically, I have here, what you're seeing here is the bottom of a trim bin. And you already see here, this is not just keef that would normally fall through. This is a much larger grate. And we got this on Amazon. We have a few of these. They work really well. So basically, you would take these really pretty buds, really frosty. It's also a good chance to show off these trimming scissors. But super frosty, really nice, smells crazy. So you take these really nice buds and you just smash them down into this grate here. And it just breaks them down into tiny, tiny little pieces. And this is large enough for the seeds to fall through. Without, if it was any smaller, really, the seeds would kind of get caught. And then you end up just with like little stems and a little bag over here that we kind of toss them into. But yeah, I mean, gosh, I think there's some here that I already trimmed up, I guess. I don't know, where's that one? This was trimming a second ago. Maybe I just smashed up the one that I just trimmed up. But yeah, I mean, that's really all it is. And then maybe tomorrow, this is like not quite like dry, like where you would it's like 11 or 12% is kind of the ideal moisture level for consumption. And this is probably closer to like 16-17% moisture at the moment, so it's not quite fully dry, but it is dry enough to extract the seeds. So here, I'll trim up this one little bud here, and I'll bring it a little closer to the camera. I don't know if the quality of a YouTube live stream is even going to pick up, like, focus. Super pretty. It's a little bit of granite haze. Just one of the granite haze. B1 is the plant number on this one. It's just the terpenes are insane. So I just took all that time trimming up that bud. I got so much of this stuff to get through. I'll trim up more of it for we got like 3 people who are like, oh, I want to save me some. I want to don't smash it all up. Well, I'll try to. But yeah, this is pretty much it. I mean, it's not super exciting stuff. Here, I can point this a little more. Yeah, I kind of trimmed up. I don't know. I was just kind of sitting here trimming for no reason because it's all going to get smashed up anyway. Yeah, and then I will show you. I'll make another. Maybe I'll just do another live stream, or I'll make another video about how we separate the seeds once they are turned into this. How do you get the seeds out of this? And the answer is there's a couple ways to do it. There's a bunch of seeds in here, and this bud material is a lot lighter than the seeds. Seeds are heavy, weed is light. And it's also, gonna dry out a lot more once we crush it up like this. So it'll be really dry by the time we go to separate it. But as you can see, this kind of, it just works kind of like a cheese grater. It just like completely obliterates the buds. And probably this is like heartbreaking for some people who would, who spend a lot of time growing, and then they want to consume those consume those buds. It's probably hard for some people to watch, but for us, this, I don't know, for me this is exciting because I get to see how many seeds we got out of each plant. But yeah, so and some of these tops got huge. So tomorrow we'll probably let this, sit out. We got the big dehumidifier running in this room at the moment, and it's gotten down to like 40% humidity in here. There's a fly that, did I get him? Has been bothering me. Got in here. Yes, we got it like down to like 40% humidity in here, and that, that allows for very fast drying of stuff, and especially when it is broken down like this. So we'll just kind of lay this out, and it'll get even drier, and the seeds will stay the same weight. This bud will get lighter and lighter, and the seeds will stay the same weight. And once I get through what I've got in this little, what do you call this, a sifter, I'll show you just like an example of one of the ways you can separate seeds. We happen to use blowers. We use air blowers, and there are things that can help. There are if you use a plastic container, wow, super pretty. If you use a plastic container, static electricity can be your friend in that circumstance. If you're trying to separate seeds from, if you pollinated a plant, which some of you might be doing soon, if we're going to sell a little bit of pollen, or we are selling a little bit of pollen. If you're separating seeds, static electricity can be your friend. Like the sides of a plastic container will actually pull the remaining last bits of plant material up away from your seeds, and you'll be left with cleaner seeds. But what a month September has turned out to have been. This is Speedrun's third year birthday party right now, actually. Tonight, this week marks the third year since Multiverse Beans had the very first pre-sale of Granite Haze F4. And here I am collecting Granite Haze F7 seeds from this Granite Haze F6 plant. But the pre-sale for Granite Haze F4 happened in September of 2022. And I believe it sold out in 2 days. And we were called Mutant Genetics back then. We were not Speedrun Seeds. Not until December of 2022 did we become Speedrun Seeds. So yeah, this week, wow, man. Sometimes some of these I can't help but trim up just to see what they would look like trimmed, because you can look at a bud before it's trimmed and it's like, God damn, that is frosty, that looks great, and then I have to see it trimmed. Like, it's compulsively wasting time trimming some of these buds up just to look at them for a second and then crush them up. What's up, guys? I can't really see the comments too much because the phone is like kind of at a weird angle. But got some new stickers. Here, you gonna see some stickers? Check this out. We're gonna have a lot of new stickers. Here, check this one out. Look at that. Speedrun Seeds. A lot of new holographic stickers. A lot of big new ones in some crazy shapes. I got a few real funny ones. So yeah, we've got limited runs of these like interesting, cool stickers. I like it. I think it's cool. Nostalgic stickers. We got some like N64 game cartridges, Sega Genesis, just all sorts of like cool old video game stuff turned into holographic stickers. So we'll probably be throwing these in with orders, and I don't know what we'll do with all of them, but yeah. Cool beans. Ooh, shit, I just put that back on the wrong side of the... I just stuck it to the back of the backing, so now it's never going to come off of that. Yeah, and then, so you end up with these, like, big sticks, so with... kind of have to just manhandle these big buds apart, and just get them through. Get them through the grate. Anything that passes through the grate this size is going to turn into this. So there's really not and there's no art to it. It is just get it crushed up. And yeah, this stuff is definitely not super dry yet. I can feel it. There's definitely still some moisture in there, but it's just dry enough to be able to do this. We've been getting a crazy amount of kind of unseasonal rain for September, and that's been hiking up the humidity, the ambient humidity. So our dehumidifiers have been having to work extra hard. We actually brought in another one from another facility. Yeah. I imagine this is probably really boring to watch. But you guys asked, and this is part of the process. So scissors look like they are working good. They're great, man. Look. Hey, I'm gonna keep raving about these scissors all the time, but like these are as comfortable, as effective. Okay, they're not curved; they're angled. I wish they were curved, but like as comfortable, as effective, as like this stuff's kind of like wet. But like, and I would say actually, honestly, they're kind of more comfortable because like chikamasas, you can't do this. Like, no matter how you have your hand, no matter what angle you're getting at, like I'm squeezing these real hard and they're just bending because they're made out of this like jelly material. And the stainless steel is also, like these are stayed super, super sharp and they're not even getting that dirty. I've been using these for like 2 hours. And they're like, look like they're brand new. And this is like, I showed you this stuff. Look at my hands. My hands are covered. Like, I don't know if you can see that. My hands are covered in resin, and these scissors are not. So, yes, I would say they are working great. I love them. We're harvesting, and harvesting requires a lot of scissors. So there are pairs of these scissors literally sitting all over the place. There's 4 on my desk right now because like it's just they have to be always within arm's reach. And if you're harvesting a room this size and you just happen to have ordered 3,000 pairs of scissors, you're gonna open up a few. You're gonna crack a few of them open just to have them handy around everywhere. And the funny thing is, I'm allergic to weed. I'm allergic to cannabis. So my throat right now is itchy as hell. My back gets itchy. If I was wearing short sleeves, I would start to get hives all up my arms. Some people, the longer they work with Actually, it's true not just of cannabis. It's true of a lot of things. The longer you work with something, the higher the likelihood that you might develop an allergy to it. Any chance you show us how the plants in the media room are doing? Close to harvest? So they're they're harvested. Like this is the plants in the media room. There's only a handful left, and they, like I was saying, I think I said on another stream, they look like crypt keeper status right now. We've let them go so far. Really, just partly because we want the seeds to finish, and partly just because of our drying capacity at the moment, because we're still building out some drying room, space here. So we're just kind of harvesting in stages. But maybe in another video, I'll show you like that. They don't look great, but you would never normally let plants live this long. Like they should have been harvested weeks ago if you wanted to smoke them. But for us, it can't hurt to let them go really long. They're not getting moldy. We use a really good fungicide regimen, so we don't really have to worry about mold. There's no bugs in this room, so there's really no worries in letting them kind of live, other than the light bill, but which I just paid, and it was fucking expensive as shit. but yeah. So what did I say I was gonna do once I finished? What was in this tray? I remember I said, my throat is just itchy. I remember I said I was gonna do something. How long? Like 100 days? I don't know. When did we start them? End of May? No, those have been harvested already. So the ones that are alive right now, I guess would have been like June. So yeah, we're like probably over 90 days, probably close to 100 days. But again, that's not how long they take to finish. They finished probably a month ago. Fan? What do you mean fan, question mark? You lost me on the, for separation of seeds. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that we'll do probably tomorrow once this stuff dries out a little bit more. But, so the way it works is, like, I can probably do a little demonstration here. There's probably too much in this tray to do this. But, so, if I were to do this, if I were to just sit here, I am gonna get so allergic from doing this. I did not take any Benadryl or anything before this. So like, if I were to sit here, it's like I said, it's a little bit too wet to do this. But once it's super dry, if I were to just sit here and just do this, and then I could turn it, and I could push all that lighter stuff away. And at the bottom here is where a lot of the seeds are gonna be. Again, it doesn't really work like that unless it's super, super dry. And once it is super, super dry, a much easier way of doing it is having a smaller amount in the tray. So let's just say, here, we use these 2-gallon bags. Actually, I think I already have one. Or maybe not, whatever. I'll just crack a fresh one. So we use these 2-gallon bags to store the ground up material before and after we get the seeds out of it, because after we get the seeds out of it, it's going to go to an extractor. But let's say you're left with this much in the tray, and we don't use these trays for this. We have larger ones, but we have a couple different types of blowers. Would be a major pain in the ass to go grab that right now, but you'll see it in another video. So you basically just like, I don't want to just say, if I were to do it here, if I were to just blow on this, it's going to go all over the place, and you have to prepare for that. So we lay out paper, and we take a blower, and we'll lay it like nice and flat like this, and then we'll hit it with a blower, and at the right angle, with the right amount of airflow, it will just blow away everything that's really light, and it will leave everything that's really heavy. And that's the way we separate seeds. And then once you get to that point, you're left with these like little round chunks of flour that roll around pretty easily, just like seeds do. So it's kind of hard to separate them. But like it's yeah. Again, once this sits out overnight and dries a little bit more, it would be easier to kind of show you guys. But like, if this was really dry at this point, you can't see what I'm doing. At this point, like me shaking it like this, all the seeds would start rolling out, and everything that can't roll because it's not round would stay up there. So like something like this, like that's rolling because it's like a little round piece of bud. But you can kind of see, rolling action happening there. And that's how you say, like that's a really good way. It's gravity. Gravity helps you separate seed. But really, air blowers are the best way to do it. And then, this kind of tray, it comes with other grates. I think there's another one, there's a smaller one somewhere too. But these are super goddamn useful. There really is nothing more useful than being able to just break everything up into a homogeneous, like everything that's left right here, this is all just stem chunks. To like a homogeneous kind of powder like this. It is super useful to be able to do that. And we haven't found a tool that does it much better. So here, I'm gonna dump this into the bag, and I'm gonna block the camera. It is hard to do this sitting down and trying to keep it on camera. Yeah, so, oh my God, I should have taken some allergy medication before I did this. Yeah, so it doesn't even matter. I'm about to crush up more of this. So, yeah, like we'll end up probably filling up this bag. This is a 2-gallon bag. And that's pretty much just how it goes. Like, you just do it all again. Like there's, I don't know how well you can see it, but like there's a seed right there poking out, right there. Oh, it actually just fell right here on the edge, and I can't grab it. Yeah. So like, I don't know. I sometimes I just like, ooh, shit. Sometimes I just kind of have to see what it looks like trimmed up for my own. I don't know. Like I want to know. It's kind of helps me know that, okay, like what is the bag appeal? Like what is the quality really at the end? Like what are people gonna be able to get? Like what's Granite Haze F6 looking like once it's trimmed up? And that's why I'll sit here and trim up something that, I'll probably keep some of it. I'll trim some of this up, and this will be what I'll keep. And once it's a little drier, I'll roll some up, and we'll have a little smoke sesh. I don't think I've ever done that on camera. So, God, is that gonna focus? Yeah, it never does justice to how frosty it is. The camera always makes it look more green than it looks in real life. The trichromes refract the light better to the eye than they do to the camera. Yeah, and then also you have to remember that this stuff was dried in a lawn and leaf bag. We don't hang it up to dry it because there's no point. We dry stuff in paper bags, and we just drop the humidity down really low, and we keep the airflow really good. And like, what's the point in hang drying? You know, like this stuff is like, it's pretty packed full of seeds. I don't know, like there's one right here. There's no point in hang drying and trying to keep it really looking nice. And so it's like a lot of these buds have like flat sides, and they've been kind of manhandled, but that is just how it goes. Like this, you know, there's like a flat side, right? You can see that, like that. You know, that's just how it is. It's a lot easier to do it that way, and it doesn't make sense. You know, we're not drying this for consumption. We're drying this to be crushed up into a powder. And I normally wouldn't be sitting here like trimming some up, but I figure, you know, you guys are here, and why not? You know, like I said, I got a request from somebody who is local to me to, hey, can I get some of that granite haze? So they will get some of that granite haze. I just said, yeah, as long as you give me the seeds back, whatever seeds you get out of it. I said most, you know, keep some of them, because if I give somebody like an ounce of this, there's going to be hundreds of seeds in there, more than anybody would probably need. So I'll take some of those back. Yeah. And you guys you'll be able to buy these trimming scissors on the new website, and along with we have that seed starting tray. Remember that I put you know, I started some seeds. I peeked into the cells earlier, and that should be closed. Peeked into the cells earlier, and we have germination, so you'll see little seedlings popping up in this. I'm brave doing that barehanded. It's at a certain point, gloves. I would be good. Look, I've got an empty box of gloves right here, because you burn through gloves so fast. There's not even a point in wearing them anymore. It's just like, because, okay, I'm wearing gloves. Oh, I need to touch my phone. Like, oh, well, then I'll take the gloves off. This, using your hands just for, was that an Autoflower? Yeah. Everything that we do is Autoflower. What is that? Globy TV. Yeah, we are an Autoflower breeder, so everything you will see us talking about or growing or trimming in this case was and is an Autoflower. This strain is, God, it smells so fucking strong. I bet it smells exactly like this plant upstairs in the office too. God damn. So yeah, you really can't see the frostiness on it's hard, but maybe I'll take some pictures with the macro camera of the dry buds, and I'll post those. But man, yeah, like this type of trimming, it was so hard to find trimming scissors that do this, where they're super loose like that, but they're still super sharp, and they work really well like this. Man, I tell you, like when I say I went through like 10 different samples, I have them somewhere. I have like, God, I have this one terrible sample where I was looking for curved trimming scissors specifically. And so I was like limited to these companies that had curved trimming scissors. And one of them, the picture looked great. Like they were actually like really, they had like a pretty intense curve to them. So I was like, oh, nice. Like I think I found what I'm looking for, because the handles look just like Chicamasa handles. So I was like, yeah, send me a sample. Thought I was gonna get one pair of scissors. They sent me this box with 20 pairs of scissors in it. And the scissors, the blades turned out to be made out of something called manganese steel, which is like a super low grade of steel, not stainless. They rusted up within, it felt like hours. Like they were rusty when they showed up. Super nice frosty, but I have to see if I can get that to focus on. There we go. Yeah, they rusted so quickly, it was ridiculous. It was almost funny. And they were also really big compared to what like trimming scissors should be, and they were clunky, and they were stiff, super stiff. So I remember those specifically because of how excited I was that I thought I finally found like, oh shit, I found scissors that we can put our logo on and be proud of, as you know, like, okay, these are the trimming scissors that we're selling as Speedrun trimming scissors. And it actually turns out these did not come with this type of handle. This blade and this handle, these were not paired up originally. I had them put this kind of like softer material handle on this blade with this angle. Like this is a custom, just like the seed starting trays, you know, a custom mold deal. I paid like $1,800 for a custom mold to put a different handle on a different blade. But when you're buying them by the thousands, that amount of money doesn't like, it starts to make sense. I'm starting to get here. I can hear myself getting like nasally because allergies. All right, I'm gonna start crushing all this up. Fuck it. God, I feel like the terpier the stuff is, the more allergic I get. Remove all the seeds by hand. That's quality. Yeah, I mean, there's no way around this part. There's no mechanizing. Actually, I'm going to pull some of these buds that I trimmed out of here and keep those. Set those aside. Oh, God. Okay. Oof. I might have to end the stream and go take some allergy medication. This particular plant is getting me bad. Do you have any advice on starting autoflowers for first-time growers? Yeah, sure. Let's see, for a first-time grower, I recommend Autopots if you have it in your budget. Go to Autopot USA. I think it's autopotusa.com. For autoflowers, there is no better growing method. There's a synergy between Autopots and autoflowers. I'm not affiliated with them. I get no money from Autopot. I bought all the Autopots we use. We use Autopot Trader Grows in this room. This is a grow room, by the way. You're not seeing it because you're just looking at my crotch. But we're in a grow room, and which is now kind of doubling as a drying room. And yeah, it's full of Autopot Trader Grows. So that's my first recommendation. And then in a couple months, we'll have our fertilizer available. You know, we've been growing autoflowers for years and I am a professional agronomy consultant, agronomist, and I work with a business partner on the fertilizer side who is the best cannabis agronomist, I'm convinced, in the world, definitely in the country. His name is David, and you'll see him on some streams coming up soon, or at least in some videos. But he and I together developed Full Auto, which is a fertilizer specifically for autoflowers to meet their needs of that really fast growth that needs to happen. In order for you to get a big autoflower plant, you really need to max out that growth. Like you can't be shy about feeding them really hard. And you also need genetics that can take it, that have been bred to handle, like, okay, we're gonna push this thing to its absolute maximum. And we want everybody to be able to yield a pound per plant, you know, like, or around that. So Autopot, and if you're looking to buy a fertilizer right now, I usually recommend Canna Coco, and go check out Autopotamus on Instagram. Happy birthday! What would you like for your birthday? What would Speedrun Seeds like for its birthday? If I can speak for the whole company, just keep being the loyal customers that you guys have been. Honestly, it's been crazy, man. 3 years, holy shit! I'll do a live stream, you know, specifically about this. But like, it is hard to believe it's been 3 years. It's been a crazy 3 years. And it hasn't been 3 years that I myself have owned the company 100%. I had a business partner in the beginning who was just a real asshole. You know, that business partner opened up a lot of opportunity for me, for sure. But, you know, there was a cost to that. I'm not going to get too deep into that. But once I kind of said, you know, enough is enough, I grew this company from the ground up. It's mine, and I am not sharing it any longer. I'm going in a direction that I want to take the company. And you guys are about to see the full effect of that direction, which is you're going to see the new website and all the new stuff we're doing. You know, I mean, this room, this facility is a testament to the new direction that we're going. This never would have happened back then. So, you know, just the fact that we even have this room and I'm sitting here doing this right now, it is because me and Eric, the other head breeder, and the other people who make Speedrun possible, kind of decided, like, yeah, we're ready to focus 100% on Speedrun. Like, Speedrun is the only thing we want to do. I don't do consulting. I don't fly around the country consulting for other farms anymore. I only do Speedrun, and what I want for Speedrun's birthday is to keep doing exactly this. This is nothing else I would rather be doing with my life than running this company. This is like, it's like my baby. But, you know, like, there's the, it's if you had found what when I went into college, I was doing graphic design. So that when I was 18 years old, you know, that would have been, wouldn't have been even a glimmer in my eye thinking about something like this. But when I was 20, 2 years later, is when I switched away from graphic design, and I was like, I see the cannabis industry blossoming in Colorado. And probably yelling. There's a microphone right here because there's a dehumidifier behind me, and I have the noise canceling on this microphone on, so you probably can't hear that as loud as I can. That's why I'm yelling. I saw the cannabis industry blossoming in Colorado, and I was like, all right, I can't afford to go to an out-of-state college, so. And I also can't get into the best colleges in Maryland because my grades sucked. So of the colleges that I'm able to get into, because I was in community college at the time. I did 2 years in community college. I was like, of the colleges that I'm able to get into, which ones of them have a botany program or a horticultural program? And I found Frostburg State University in Western Maryland had something called an ethnobotany program. And when I officially got, I don't know how weed got on my shoulder. When I officially switched majors and I went to a 4-year from community college, that's when I was all in. And my whole family, was like, this is ridiculous. That's not a career. You can't make marijuana a career. Because I was smoking a lot of weed back then. And they kind of thought like I was making a terrible decision. My grandfather, who is no longer with us, he didn't care. Maybe he didn't agree with what I was doing, but he paid for my tuition to go to college, no matter what my major was. And for that, I am eternally grateful. So if you had come to 20-year-old Ben and said, you one day, when you are 34, in many, many years, you will own a seed company and one that people actually like at that, and you'll have your own grow facility and multiple facilities, but this one belongs to me. If you had told me that, man, that was my dream. So right now I'm literally living my younger self's dream. So I couldn't ask for anything more for our 3rd birthday. I have it. I already have it all. Is your answer. Hey, Daphne. Everybody loves Daphne. Because Daphne is awesome. I am trying to get through this so fast because I can barely even breathe at the moment. If you just got here and you didn't hear me earlier, I am very allergic to weed. And just like, I don't know if it's the terpenes. Because extract doesn't. Like, if I smoke it, it does. I don't get allergic. But like when I'm around plants and I'm crushing up, my whole body is itchy right now. Like, I am so itchy and resisting scratching everywhere so hard at the moment. I don't know what part of marijuana does it. Like, I said earlier, it seems like the terpier the stuff is, the worse it gets me. And like my eyes right now, like I'm like blinking out tears. Like, this is rough. I usually take allergy medication before I do stuff like this, but it's late, and the allergy medication, if I try to sleep after I take it, it gives me like restless limbs. So I didn't take it, and I decided on a whim to kind of just go live and do this, and it was a really bad decision. So I'm probably going to end this live pretty soon. I'm kind of already, there's like 4 bags of this strain. This was a really big plant. Or not this strain, of this plant. So I think I'm pretty close to the end of this bag. Yeah, it's, so I hope you guys will forgive me if I don't make this like, well, we're already 45 minutes in. Okay, good. That makes me feel better. That kind of flew by, actually. I thought it was like 20 minutes. Late for work, Zen? 3 a.m. for you, RCU? Is it already midnight? Oh my God. Yeah, I gotta get to bed. Yeah, I'll do like one more handful, as if you guys want to see me crush up one more handful of weed. I just want to get close to finishing the end of this bag. Oh man. But yeah, so if you were, oh fuck, if you weren't here earlier, this is what we end up with after crushing up. It's all homogeneous, nice. And then we'll be able to separate the seeds out of this really easily. God, it's fucking itchy. Okay, I gotta stop. I gotta end this. Fuck. All right. Hey guys, I'm gonna go because I am dying from allergies right now. This. So I am gonna catch you guys later. Love you all. Good to see you. You'll see a video or a live stream of us separating out the seed from this next. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.